This is my case for Ohio State to win the 2026 National Championship. Before we start, however, fair warning, I've been an Ohio State fan since I was born. If you think I'm completely delusional, that's fine, because honestly, if you aren't even a little delusional for your favorite team, are you really even a fan? Let's get into this. To start, I want to talk about the national landscape. Oregon, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and many other top-notch teams that will compete in the playoffs have new starting quarterbacks. This creates chaos as a whole. Now, what you might be thinking is, okay, well, Ohio State does too. Well, one thing that Ohio State has that no one else does is Jeremiah Smith. Teams are going to have headaches with him this year. He was amazing last year, one of the best wide receivers in the nation last year, and I only expect him to get better. I think everybody else only expects him to get better as well. Alongside that, Max Clare, who was a huge transfer from Purdue, I think he was a top 3 tight end last year, literally the only bright spot Purdue had last year, and now he's on Ohio State. We have Carnell Tate, who's extremely underrated and could probably be a wide receiver one on a majority of teams. Brandon Inniss is a stud as well. Again, is he top tier caliber? Probably not, but he's still a stud. And then we got Quincy Porter, a new 5-star freshman who, again, probably might not make the starting rotation, but could be an absolute spark plug when he gets plugged into the game. And again, from a player like that, that's all we can really ask for. And he'll also be amazing in the future, but again, we're only talking about the 2026 National Championship. We'll talk about the 2027 National Championship in the future. Again, the point that I was trying to make with Julian Sain being a new quarterback is this is just going to make the game super easy and slowed down compared to any other quarterback or new quarterback situation that's out in the national landscape. Arch Manning might be objectively better. I'm not going to try to go against that, but does he have Jeremiah Smith? No. Does he have a better tight end than Max Clare? No. Is his wide receiver 2 better than Carnell Tate? No. It's just going to be much easier for Julian Sain this year. Again, the run game this year may not be perfect, but I expect it to be sustainable. I'm interested to see how CJ Donaldson is going to be worked in with James Peoples, if they're going to split the backfield, if there's going to be a clear-cut number 1 and then the RB2 kind of gets some touches here and there, we'll see. But again, a major note is that Chip Kelly's been replaced with Brian Hartline as offensive coordinator, and I expect him to take a much heavier passing approach compared to a heavy run approach, which will help utilize the weapons that we do have in the receiving core. A major thing, and I think a major reason why Ohio State lost to Michigan last year, is that we kept trying to run the dang ball against Michigan's big D tackles and D linemen that were absolutely elite. Again, that worked, and we won a national championship. I'm not going to complain about that, but there's also a big noticeable impact of after that Michigan game, in the playoffs, they started to air the ball out more. I think from week 1, Brian Hartline is going to have the ball aired out to Jeremiah Smith, to Max Clare, to Carnell Tate, and it's going to utilize the weapons much better than last year. And I'm not throwing shade at Chip Kelly. I think that this team suits a Brian Hartline's offense, or what I expect him to call an offense, much better than Chip Kelly. Another thing is the defense is still stacked. Sure, they lost guys like JTT and Jack Sword to the draft, but they brought in Bo Atkinson from North Carolina and still have one of the best defenders in all of college football in Caleb Downs. Easily probably the best safety in the nation. So look, I'm not going to expect the defense is going to be as good as it was last year, or granted even better, but you can't tell me that they're going to get much worse. And honestly, they'll probably stay around the same echelon that they were in last year. They were absolutely elite last year. I don't expect them to be at that level again, but maybe just a half step or a step down, and that's honestly still a really great defense. And balance out with their offense, which is probably, in my opinion, going to gradually improve. I think that the national championship is still in reach. And yeah, when I look across the nation once again, I don't really see any tough contenders. I don't see that team that's holy cow, we have to watch out for them. I think it's really anybody's year. When I look at a team like Penn State, they're probably the most well-built team. We have Drew Aller, who's been a proven quarterback coming back. James Franklin's a great coach. Jim Knowles, who is their new defensive coordinator, is going to improve their defense, I think. And then they picked up a lot of weapons in the offseason. They are probably that team that hey, we need to take them down. But here's the thing, it's big game James. I'm not going to be worried about them until they prove that I need to be worried about them. They haven't won. They haven't beat Ohio State in how long? They haven't beat even a Oregon, a Michigan. Sure, they've taken care of them sometimes. I get the argument. Okay, say Penn State beats Ohio State in the regular season. Cool. Now you have to prove to me that you can also win in the playoffs. And when you just have a team like that I need some things to be proven to me before I believe it, that's a little bit tough. I feel the only other team that you can really look to as an upper echelon is a Texas. But when you look at at Texas and you look at Arch Manning, it's like, okay, great. Like, yeah, it's Arch Manning. I get it. I get the hype. He's still got to prove some stuff to me. Julian Sain, honestly, still has to prove some stuff to me. But like I said earlier, I think Sain's just got an easier time. Even if Arch Manning's better than Sain, which is a possibility, that doesn't mean the weapons around him are better either. It's a give and take, and I just feel like the Ohio State offense is just going to be better. I think the defense is going to be better too than like a Texas team. Overall, I think that this year of college football could be anyone's year. But I think the Ohio State Buckeyes will go back-to-back and win the national championship in 2026. Or I guess the 2025 to 2026 season. But then again, that's just my take.